What is up, guys, and welcome to the video. Got a super fun video planned today. So I just knocked out 30 minutes on the stairs. It was freaking hard, but now we're gonna head to the recovery center to chill out.
No, you have another 30 minutes to go.
Another 30?
30 more minutes. 1 hour Stairmaster every morning.
Oh no, I'm going TikTok crazy.
Let's go. Okay, so rule number 1, hands up. And then rule number 2, speed it up.
This girl's gonna kill me.
So cardio every single morning is 1 hour on the stairs, fasted, no hands. And I like to go about speed 6 or 7. I keep my heart rate around the 130, 140 range. So yeah, you've got another 30 minutes and then we can go get breakfast.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the video for a second time. So ended up doing 1 hour on the stairs, which was a very fun time thanks to Jade. Now, I have had a couple of requests over the last few weeks to bring a little bit more female focused content to the channel. So today is going to be kind of a different video. So I'm going to live like a bikini competitor on prep for the entire day. So for this video, we've got Jade Joselyn with us today. She is a bikini competitor, has done a bunch of pro qualifier shows, and is, what I hear, planning her pro card push in the next competition season coming up. But I'll hand it over to Jade to introduce herself and tell you guys a little bit about herself.
Hey guys, my name is Jade, like Texan said. I live here in Bali, and like you said, I'm a bikini competitor as well as fitness coach, and we thought it would be a really cool idea to do this video because obviously a lot of people who watch the channel are interested in preps or nutrition and fitness, and it's just a different spin on things because you're going to be potentially prepping, I'm going to be prepping in the future. But in terms of a little bit about me, I've done 11 pro qualifier competitions and 10 of them I placed top 3. I've won 4, which is amazing. So for my next season, I'm definitely going to be going for my pro card, which I know will happen, which is super exciting because there's going to be a prep coming up. But it was definitely a fun time this morning watching you do the Stairmaster instead of me, because when I was on bikini prep last year, I competed in 3 shows. So I prepped for about 6 months in total to do 3 competitions over in Europe, and I did the Stairmaster every single day for an hour, if not more. So yeah, it was definitely fun watching you do that this morning and not me, but I also know that it's going to be coming back very soon, which will be a journey in itself. So yeah, I'm really excited for today. We're basically going to put you through the day in the life of me on prep, and you're in for a ride, that's all I can say. It's going to be definitely a good video. There's going to be a lot of education. I'm just looking forward to watching you suffer, to be honest, because as you guys know, if you prepped, it's not easy, and I think it can be a little bit harder for a bikini prep girl, in my opinion. So yeah, it's definitely be interesting to see how you get on.
Yeah, so I'm excited to put this video out because I know that for a lot of girls, they look from the outside and they see this bikini prep and bikini competitions is this really exciting thing, and the girls look fantastic and awesome, and it seems like a really intriguing, enticing thing to do, but more often than not, a lot of the things that are really, really important just aren't discussed, and we see all the time girls going to their first bikini prep and coming out of it with sort of eating disorders and suppressed metabolisms and not understanding how to transition out of the diet, and it can be a really, really rough time if you don't have the education. So one of my big goals for this video is to provide that education alongside with Jade, so you guys have the tools if you are considering a bikini prep, how you can do it right to mitigate the damage, and just have an understanding of all the things that actually go into a bikini prep that often aren't discussed.
Yeah, because I look back to when I first started competing, which was in 2016, and there's so much more I know now after 14 competitions, and I've done 3 big preps in total for these. So yeah, there's just so much I wish I knew on how to prep, you know, in a really the healthiest way possible and make it more of a sustainable lifestyle, and then also how to transition out of it and just how to keep your mindset in a really positive place. And you can see it's not going to be easy. People see the stage and they see the glamour and they don't really understand the full work that goes into it, but if you do it with the right mindset, which we're going to talk about, and really try and take care of your body as best as possible, it is something that can be done in a sustainable way, in terms of like you can have a long competitive season lifestyle. Like I've been doing it now for 5 years, so yeah, it's definitely been a journey, but I'm excited for you.
So we hit our cardio, we're down here at Body Factory, had a little sauna and jumped in the ice bath, so we are off and racing for the start of the day. Now we are going to head off to breakfast for meal 1. Now, as Jade touched on, she's the boss of the diet for today, so I'm not totally sure what I'll be eating, but I have a feeling it's not going to be a lot. So follow along, meal 1 coming up. We'll see you guys in the next clip. Alrighty guys, so Jade is going to explain my diet for today while being on my mini bikini prep.
So the way I did my bikini prep was I ordered all my food from one restaurant here, and it's really simple and really nice. You're gonna feel really good at the end of the day. So we have 5 meals for the day, 4 of which are going to be from here, okay? So for breakfast, you've got fish and asparagus. And then after you have fish and asparagus, then it gets a little bit exciting and you get a vegan protein shake with some carbs. I'm not going to tell you how many carbs just yet. That's going to be a surprise. So that's going to be your pre-workout meal. Then post-workout, you're going to have fish and asparagus.
Oh my god.
And then for your final meal, you're going to get fish and courgette. You know, we're going to change it up a little bit. And then you also get a vegan protein shake. So it's pretty simple, but you know, really tasty.
Sounds very tasty.
And the way I did my prep was I just had the same fish for every meal for 5 months. So we're gonna have dory. So it's really light, not a lot of volume, digests really easy. Asparagus is also really good, you know, low calorie.
I've never had dory in my life. It's not Dory from Finding Nemo, is it?
It's not a very like hearty, meaty fish, you know, so it's really light, easy to eat. I can't say it's gonna fill you up a lot, but we're gonna order all 4 meals so you can see, and then later on you can get your protein shake, which is exciting.
This sounds like a fantastic day of eating. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm probably gonna be 10 kilos lighter tomorrow, so that's a bonus.
Also, I might add, it's not like unlimited asparagus. There is, you know, portion control here.
Oh, fantastic.
So
can't overdo the asparagus.
No. Vegetables do have calories and do have carbohydrates. So we have to be mindful with them. Everything is going to be weighed out from the kitchen, and yeah, let's get ordering. No seasoning either.
8 o'clock in the morning, I'll have fish and a rice cake. At 10 o'clock, I'll have fish. At 12 o'clock, I'll have fish and a rice cake. At 2 o'clock, I'll have fish. 4 o'clock, just before I train, I'll have fish and a rice cake. I'll train, I'll have me fish. I'll come home, have some more fish with a rice cake, and then have some fish before I go to bed.
Didn't want to pay anymore.
So, you aren't allowed a cookie, so we're gonna take this away from you. So, the beautiful thing about not being on Bikini Prep is being able to get a large almond milk cappuccino. You are gonna have a long black to save your calories, so no milk. And we're gonna get you a little bit of stevia because stevia, I think, saved my life on prep. Just the little, not hacks, but the little things that make your day that little bit better. It was definitely a long black with stevia. I'm gonna enjoy your cookie, and then we're gonna wait for the food. When you haven't had a cappuccino in like a year, it just hits different. First transitioning from like not being on a diet to
Like Bounty or Edgerton or Sky Garden. Oh my god. The boiled just makes it look so much more filthy.
I used to eat this cold.
Oh, it's all watery.
So these two we're gonna take home with us for later. And then this is your meal 1 and your meal 2. Thank you, I'll take that.
I hate you.
Enjoy. No ketchup, actually, about it. So if I was at home, I would put it in the air fryer so it wouldn't add any calories. But in a restaurant, always ask for steam or boiled because then you'll 100% have nothing added to it.
Alrighty guys, welcome to the coaching corner with Jackson and Jade. So I wanted to spend some time to discuss some of the top considerations that you should probably be having if you're considering jumping into a bikini contest prep, as well as some of the thought processes that go behind the way the diet that I'm eating is structured today and the way that Jade's diet was structured for her contest prep. So getting into our first point. So you might have heard either in the media or from your friends that you should never take your calories below 1200 because if it goes below 1200, some crazy, nasty, bad things are gonna happen and it's super unhealthy. Now, funnily enough, there's actually no evidence for this 1200 calorie rule. So basically, someone has just chosen that number out of thin air and it's been shared amongst groups of friends, and then over time it's become this sort of hard and fast rule. Now, the reality of this is that to get in true bikini shape, and Jade will be able to vouch for this, your calories are going to have to get super low. And the realism of it is that for bikini competitors that are doing really well and that are sort of placing top 3, 4 and 5 at these shows, it's going to be very rare for them to be consuming much more calories than 1200. More than likely, their calories at the end of prep are actually going to be much lower. Now, people might say, well, if you go below 1200, this is so unhealthy. The reality is that a bikini contest prep, it's not a super healthy endeavor. Your body doesn't like being in a chronically starved state, but it is a means to an end. It's temporary, and the negative outcomes that do accompany these really low calories, they are reversible once we finish the competition and we increase calories back up. But Jade, interested to hear what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, what people need to realize is it's a controlled thing as well. So everything is being tracked very meticulously, and there's so many variables to take into consideration with it. And I think a big thing is people hear about this 1,200 calorie rule and they think anything below that is just starvation. But there are bodybuilders 3 times the size of bikini prep girls who are also on these same calories. And like Jackson was saying, it is for such a short period of time. It is something that your body can handle, but it definitely doesn't make it easy, that is for sure. And the reality is, if you are doing a bikini competition, like I'm a small female, I'm 5'1", so actually 1,200 calories is actually pretty decent for me. And so if I want to get super lean and super shredded, I will have to go below that in order to get my body fat fat percentage to a place that not many people would be able to take it. And yeah, I think it's busting the myth around that, because people have so much to say about going below it that people are afraid, especially on social media, to actually be very honest and truthful and show the realities of what it does take to get stage lean.
So our next point, just following on from that, so the diet plan that I'm following today is around about 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
So it's not a whole lot of food, but as Jade said, it's just a means to an end to achieve that true stage condition. And when we put it in context, Chris Bumstead, classic physique Mr. Olympia, 240 pounds shredded of pure muscle, he was down to 1,500 calories in the final stages of prep, and he's 3 times the size of Jade. So most likely, if you get this thing in your head where it says, okay, I can't take my calories below 1,200 as a female bikini competitor, more often than not, it's just going to result in you missing the mark with your condition, and you're not going to be in true contest shape.
And this is the thing, I feel like a lot of people on social media, a lot of coaches, they'll praise how many calories their bikini girls are eating just to entice people in to maybe work with them. Like, look, my bikini competitors are eating 3,000 calories, 2,000 calories, they're not starving. But are their bikini competitors actually getting results and actually winning? When you actually look at the people who are winning, like Chris Bumstead, Mr. Olympia, I know Jennifer Dory, who just won Miss Bikini Olympia, she was on 800, 900 calories at some point, and it's just what you have to do for a short period of time, and it's not for the whole prep. But there's so many people just like praising how many calories they can eat versus like just saying, yeah, it's gonna be hard and I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna win. And for me, if I'm gonna enter a bikini competition, it's not to see how many calories I can eat, it's to win at the end of the day. So it's to have that in mind versus focusing on how many calories can I eat or how little cardio can I do. It's not, shouldn't be the motivation, and it shouldn't be the reason that you join with a coach or anything like that.
So moving on to our second point, and our second point is about protein intake. So the protein that I'm consuming today, predominantly from fish and a little bit of protein powder, that is worked out for Jade's body weight. It works out to be around 2.5 grams of protein per kilo. Now, people might say, well, that's a really, really high protein intake, and yes, that's true,
yeah.
But there is a reason for that. So when we are in a calorie deficit, we get increased rates of muscle protein breakdown. And when muscle protein breakdown rates are higher than muscle protein synthesis, that's when we lose muscle. Now, when we consume protein, this helps us to increase muscle protein synthesis. So because muscle protein breakdown has gone up, we need to find a way to increase muscle protein synthesis as well to keep the balance in check. And the way that we can do this is by raising our protein intake. So to say that in another way, your protein demands are going to increase during a contest prep.
As you get leaner.
Especially as you get leaner. So protein intake needs to increase in line with that to help with muscle retention.
I also think from a mindset point of view, I don't know, for me, like just protein, it's very easy just to eat and just like mentally just eat it and be as full as I can be and just move on, versus, you know, eating carbs and then maybe like feeling even hungrier after, or having maybe fats like almond butters or things like that, like you crave more of it, whereas naturally you don't like crave just more and more protein. So it's really just to eat, easy to eat, and then just like feel as full as you can, and then just like feel good.
Yeah, so for those, most of you guys will know, protein is the most satiating macronutrient. So if you had to choose one macronutrient to fill you up the most, protein is going to be your best bet.
Yeah, and you're not just going to want to binge on fish, honestly, and just like eat endless amounts of fish. So it's really easy just to like eat it and then just be done with your meal. Okay, so point 3 is going to be on the trace fats. So you might see with today's diet, there isn't actually any added fats. Now the reason this is because when we are coming to the competition, we obviously wanted to decrease our calories. We wanted to keep the protein nice and high, like we covered in topic number 2. So what we did was we pulled fats, because fats have more calories than carbohydrates, and we did want to keep a little bit of carbs in there around training just for performance purposes, whereas the fats wouldn't necessarily help with that. So when I was leading up to my shows, we really pulled all the fats from my diet. Maybe you can speak a little bit more on the education and the science of why we did that, just because it was just for a short period of time, but it definitely did work for me. So yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people get caught up in this healthy fats hype, and to be fair, the benefits of fats, specifically in a contest prep or for a physique competitor, are significantly overblown. Now, when we're talking about the benefits that fats do provide, above a certain threshold, the only real benefits that the fats are going to have is it's going to make your diet taste a little bit nicer. But in terms of when we're on a restricted amount of calories and we have to allocate those calories specifically towards the macronutrients that are going to benefit us the most, because we've already allocated a lot to protein, it is in our best interest to allocate the remaining allowance as much as we can towards carbohydrates. Now, we do this because carbohydrates are directly advantageous for fueling high intensity exercise performance. So high intensity exercise performance like the hard sets that we're doing in the gym. Fats are going to provide no benefits to our performance whatsoever because they are very slowly oxidized fuel source. Now, if we're able to keep our carbohydrates higher, our performance is going to be able to stay higher as well. If our carbohydrates are low, obviously our performance is going to deteriorate as well. Now, the best chance that we're going to have of maintaining all of our muscle mass during a contest prep is by maintaining our gym performance the best we can. The more our performance drops off in the gym, the more we start missing our numbers, the more our loads and our reps start reducing in the gym. That is going to be the recipe for muscle loss. So by keeping fats to just trace, it means we're able to distribute more of our remaining calories to carbohydrates to try to keep performance as best maintained we can, to give ourselves the best chance we can of maintaining all of our lean tissue during prep.
Yeah, and what people need to remember is it's not forever, it's just for a short period of time. Maybe people are doing the 12-week prep, 16-week prep, 20-week prep, whatever it is. It's only for a couple of weeks that we would do something like this, and I thought I would give you my really, really tough diet, which was right up leading into the show, just to get that last little bit of fat off me and make myself definitely stage lean. So that's why we did no fats, and yeah, I survived. Look, I'm okay.
So moving on to point 4. Now, while I just said that we're going to be allocating as many of our calories towards carbohydrates as we can, we're still not going to be on that many carbohydrates. We're not going to have a whole lot to play with.
I actually had a few weeks where I did no carbs just for a couple of weeks, but I thought I would be somewhat nice and give you carbs around your training just so we can push it in the gym.
Yeah, so while carbohydrates are going to be restricted, for the carbohydrates that we do have, it's going to be most advantageous to us to put them before our training session. Now, again, this ties in closely to point 3, but by having those carbohydrates before our session, it means we're able to elevate our blood glucose and restore some muscle glycogen so that we're going into that training session with the best sort of carbohydrate positioning that we possibly can be. If we just distributed our carbohydrates across the day with small little amounts in each meal, it's going to mean that we're basically going into that training session in a depleted state. We're going to have low blood glucose and our muscle glycogen and liver glycogen stores are actually going to be depleted. And when that happens, it's almost impossible to be able to perform optimally. So
yeah, I also think from a mental standpoint, like mentally you have carbs, you can just get into the mindset before the gym of like, right, I've had some carbs, yes, I'm low energy, yes, I'm tired, yes, I'm doing a bodybuilding prep, but you have the carbs, and it's just like a little mental switch. Even if it's something that you're just telling yourself, it's like, right, I've got the fuel in, I've got the energy, let's go. And that definitely really does help as well, even if it's placebo or not, even if the carbs don't actually help you that much. It's just something mentally that you can tell yourself that you do have that fuel in you. So when you're really, really struggling, you need to get that extra rep or you need to push. It's just like taking yourself to that place and being like, yeah, I've got it in me, I know I can do it, even if it is like...
Yeah, I agree with that. So just to wrap this up, Jade, I was gonna ask you what would be your sort of top tips, other than the points that we've covered, around about sort of maximizing your bikini contest prep to give yourself the best chance of being as successful as possible.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, I know it's very cliche, but to really enjoy the process, because the bikini prep isn't actually going to be forever, right? It's a short-lived period of time, maybe 3 months, maybe 4 months. So it's not focusing on so much of the negatives and looking at the positives of it, and like, how amazing is it that you get to spend all this time in the gym doing something that you love. And for me, it was just so lovely to feel that I was getting fitter every single week, and to seeing my body change. It was such like a really positive experience for me, and I always looked for the good in the day versus focusing on maybe what would be deemed as the negative, such as the low food. I almost changed my focus and thought like, oh, how great is it that I get to nourish myself and be really just like like really careful with what I was eating and really just like concise, and it just was a really enjoyable process in that sense. And yeah, I felt very proud of myself every single day that I'd stuck to my diet and that I'd eaten really healthy, really clean, and just felt like I was doing the best thing for my body during the prep. So yeah, it would be for sure to focus on the positives and not look at the quote unquote negatives of what you can't have. Focus on what you can have and what you are doing for your body. Definitely a top tip is something that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is, as a woman, seeing your body change can sometimes be it can be hard, as well as like obviously really positive, right? So it's really cool to see yourself getting lean and see abs and stuff, but it's staying really mindful in the sense that like your body is going to change and people might have something to say about it. So I found that when I was doing my prep, a lot of people were saying that I was too lean, or I didn't look as healthy and this and that, and just remembering that you're doing it for a goal and it is for a short period of time, and that your body is going to change, and other people's opinions don't matter when you are doing something for you, right? Remember that when you're doing a prep, it's for no one else but yourself. And so to remember that, if people have an opinion and if people have anything to say, that like when your body is changing, just remembering you're doing it for you and it's not permanent. That would be another top tip as well.
Yeah, I think they're really good.
Yeah.
So guys, I hope you learned a thing or two from that. I say guys, but I mean girls.
I think we can definitely apply to guys as well, like just being, you know, very focused on when you're doing something, why you're doing it, like having that your purpose very clear, like what your end goal is. And on the harder days, on the days where the cardio is hard, when people have their opinions, just remembering what that goal is, remembering why you're setting out to do what you do, so that when you are hungry, when you are tired, like you can just keep that in mind and think, I'm doing this for me, I'm doing this for a goal, and it's not going to be forever. So to really enjoy the process and enjoy it while you have it, because a year later you're not probably going to be lean and you're never going to get to do this prep again. So make the absolute most of it, enjoy it as much as you can, and remember that food is always going to be there, right? The cheat meals are always going to be there, and the reason you're doing this is to reach a goal. So
yeah, so you guys, if you do have any questions, drop them in the comments section below, and me and Jade will make sure that we keep on top of them and we'll answer your questions if you do have any queries about what we chatted about today. So that is going to be a wrap for the coaching corner. It is time to
get some carbs.
Go prepare the pre-workout meal, which I would love to say I'm excited for, but it's probably not going to be too exciting, but we'll see how we go.
It was my favorite meal of the day. Okay. And that's what I was saying about like keeping the positives in mind rather than thinking about the food I didn't have. I focused on the foods that I did have and the food that I really enjoyed, such as like my coffee with stevia and then my protein shake and carbs. So yeah, it's a good time. This is the best meal of the day.
Okay. That's a wrap. We have the pre-workout treat going down. A very sad looking bowl of 30 grams of cream of rice with cinnamon.
Put some cinnamon in there and then some stevia just for flavoring. But I would always have the protein shake separate just because then it felt like two things versus like one thing. A little bit of like a prep hack, you know, just making the food stretch a little bit longer versus mixing the protein in.
What's that, 1 scoop protein?
That's 1 scoop of protein, so it's about 25 grams of protein. And yeah, cream of rice is obviously really good before a workout because it's fast digesting. And honestly, when you've done 0 carb, this little bowl, it hits the spot.
I've been doing 120 grams of cream of rice in my pre-workout meal, so this looks pretty sad to me at the moment. Tastes solid.
Yeah. You always care a lot about how to make everything taste the best when you don't get a lot. Best meal of the day.
Fair bit better than the white fish and the soggy fish and asparagus.
That's your post-workout.
I can't wait. Alright, I'm going to get this down and then we are going to get ready for gym. Jade is going to take us through a bikini focused lower body day. So we're going to smash it out. Body Factory got a lot of cool equipment to try out today. So Actually looking forward to training today, so we'll catch you guys in the next clip. What is up, guys? Just wrapped up a bikini prep focused lower body workout. So a ton of glute and hamstring work courtesy of Jade. I'll let Jade give a quick rundown of what we did.
Yeah, important thing is to always push yourself, even if you are on prep like we spoke about earlier. But we focused on glutes and hamstrings today because this is super important in bikini prep, just because they say shows are won from the back. So we did heavy hip thrust, that was our main compound. We did pretty much 4 sets of everything. So we warmed up our glutes to start off with for about 10 minutes with the booty band, just to get some activation, get some blood into the glutes. Then we moved on to our hip thrust, we did abduction, then we focused on some kickbacks, and then we finished off some hamstrings as well. So not a lot of exercises, but a lot of intensity, which is the most important thing because it's so important, and a lot of booty focused work. It was really good. Definitely try it out. Maybe leave it down in the description for everyone.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It's not easy for guys, no?
No, like I think a lot of, well, especially the dudes, but some girls as well, they perhaps think that like booty training is sort of just light pump work, but today's workout was no joke, and I'm not someone that trains the arse a lot, but I enjoyed the workout still, and you can see like it's still tested me a fair bit, and I know that I'm going to be pretty damn sore tomorrow. So thanks to Jay for taking us through that workout. I hope you guys picked up a couple of tips and tricks along the way to apply to your own lower body training if you are considering going into a bikini prep or just wanting to develop your female physique. So that is going to be a wrap for today's video. I'm looking forward to going home and having some cold, dory, boiled fish with some asparagus, and then I think later I get a bit of a treat because we get zucchini.
I was going to say, what treat? What treat?
Asparagus. So I got a fun night planned, so Jade
you
can probably have all the food that I can't have.
Dory, asparagus post-workout, then you get your zucchini and asparagus for dinner, and then you also get a protein shake. It's like a sweet treat to finish off the day.
So my Saturday is just ideal, as you can hear. So
What should I have post-workout?
I think you should probably have some waffles. I think you've earned them.
Maybe next time we swap diets.
Yeah, I'll give Jade my 5,000 calorie plan.
Give the video a thumbs up if you think I should try and eat your diet. I think I'd do pretty well.
All right.
Yeah, give the video a thumbs
maybe plan that
up.
one for the next video. But if you have got any questions, drop them down below. If not, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.
Peace.